Hello and welcome to the Inspire National Dance Competition Judge Training. My name is Anne Marie Jones. I am one of Inspire National Dance Competition owners.
And my name is Teresa Peoples. I am also one of the owners of Inspire National Dance Competition. I'm probably the one that you've had most contact with. I was there for the interview and also will be emailing you most of the information that you will receive today.
So before we begin, just a reminder, you received several documents in the email that directed you to this video. You should have received directions on how to get here and access this document. You also received a packet of information. If you have that with you, it is helpful to have it out at this time so that you can look through it as we are going over it. You also received a code of conduct, and we'll speak more about that in a moment. And you received a reflection document. That also might be something you would like to have out with you as you go through the training today. So as we begin, the first thing that we would like to go over with you is an overview of Inspire National Dance Competition rules. The packet that you received has these rules in a printed form. We are going to look at them through our website, www.inspirendc.com. This is where you can find all of the information about the company if you have any questions about anything. But for now, we're going to go to the Rules tab, and we're going to focus today on our regional rules. Here you will find the electronic version, and you will also see a separate PDF document if you ever need to print an additional copy of the rules. It is available here. We do review these each year and make adjustments, so if you are with us in the future, there might be some adjustments to this, but these are our 2018 rules. The first thing that we will discuss is the levels of division. We do primarily leave this up to our studio directors. It is up to them to place their dancers in the appropriate division. However, if you at the event are ever concerned about the level of a dance, please make sure you speak to Erica Bush, who is our judge manager. She's there at the table with you, and she will address your concerns with myself or Teresa. The three divisions that we have here at Inspire are recreational, competition, and competition elite. These are the three that you will see the most often. Every now and then you may see a pro-am division. When you are judging a pro-am division, be aware that someone in that dance is above the age of 20 and is a teacher, but they are scored on the same level as a competition elite entry. So we have recreational, we have competition, competition elite, and then we have our pro-am division. The next section of our rules talks specifically about the types of dances that you may see. One thing that we have changed for this year is we moved from a large group to a super line. This is new for us this year. Super lines and productions have 16 or more dancers in them, but there is a major difference between a super line and a production. A super line is a performance that can portray a theme or style, but they should not be a storyline, plot, or narrative. A production must have a storyline, plot, or narrative throughout, similar to a film, book, play, musical, and there must be props involved in a production. So that is something new for us this year. Just wanted to point that out to you as you are viewing some of the different entries throughout the weekend. We have an age breakdown. We go from minis to petites, juniors, teens, seniors, and adults. All of this is calculated within the system. But again, if you find that you're concerned about the age placement of a dancer, check with us. There may have been an error when the studio owner entered the date of birth, and we can always follow up on that. The next section of our rules focuses primarily on adjudication and awards. So as the judge, you will be judging on a point system. And while you are judging, you will be providing an audio critique to the studio owner and to the dancer. That critique is they hear what you're saying, but in the background they also see the dance. So there is a video attached to that. So they are actually watching what you're seeing while your audio critiques are being given. They will be able to access the scores that you enter and the critiques online. Everything is done electronically. We are a paperless system. There are 4 areas of criteria that we ask for you to judge these dancers on. The first is our technical ability. This represents 35% of that entry score. We also have a synchronization and execution. This represents 25% of the score. We have a choreography and routine criteria, which represents 20%. And then we have our presentation and performance, which represents 20%. In a moment, we will go over a document that kind of breaks down what you should be looking for in each of those, but I wanted to highlight the different percentages there. We also have a scoring scale, and that scale is different based on the division that the dancer falls under. We start, our highest award is the Platinum Elite Award, followed by Platinum, High Gold, Gold, and High Silver. We give general awards. Every award gets an adjudication based on your scores that you input. We also provide overall top awards. The number of placements that we give out are based on the number of entries within that age and division level. You will also be selecting Judges' Choice Awards. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. And then we also look into our Inspire All-Stars, and we select those based on the way that you rate them and the scores that you provided. One other competition that we do at the event is a photogenic. Some weekends we will have upwards of 30 entries, and some weekends we will have none. We never know until we get to the event how many of those we will have. But during some of the breaks throughout the day and in between some of the sessions, you may be asked to score a photogenic entry. You will have the image to look at, and then you will provide feedback in terms of a score. There will not be any critique for that, but you will be writing out your scores for those entries. Now we move on to our performance categories. We have many different performance categories, and this is something you definitely want to look over and familiarize yourself with, but we always have questions about the number of tricks that are permitted. In these above categories, ballet, point, lyrical, contemporary, modern, jazz, tap, and clogging, there are only 3 gymnastic tricks allowed. So if a dance has more than 3 gymnastic tricks, then it should be in one of these performance categories: hip hop, open, musical theater, acro dance, or pom pom. With that being said, we have had the question before from studio owners: if 4 girls all do a back handspring at the same time, does that count as 1 trick or 4? We call that 1 trick because they are all doing the same trick simultaneously as part of the choreography, just to make you aware of the difference there. But please make sure you read over these performance categories and understand. If you're ever concerned that a dance may have been placed in the wrong category, you may speak to us about it. That we do have studio directors that just happen to click the wrong box when they were registering, so we try to address that as quickly as possible. Some other general information that you may need to know. This one is very important to us here at Inspire National Dance Competition. We are a family company, and we want it to be a very family-friendly environment when people are attending our events. Any kind of sexually explicit dance moves, costumes, or music should not be tolerated. We do not want to have cuss words in our music, even some sexually explicit lyrics that may not be curse words but are not appropriate. An outfit that is extremely revealing for a dancer of a certain age. You as a professional know what really shouldn't be on the stage at that time. We do ask that in your critiques you very professionally address some of the concerns that you may have. If you heard a cuss word while you were critiquing the dance, it is completely appropriate for you to say in the critique, studio owner, watch that word there, you want to make sure you get a good edited version or choose a different song. Those are appropriate comments. We always want to be professional with our comments, but they also need to hear from you, the professional, your concerns in this area. As you see fit, based on these things, the sexually explicit dance, costumes, and music, you may give deductions within your scores when you place them into the system. Every now and then we will have some technical difficulties, perhaps with a song or with the computer system shutting down. Every now and then that will happen, and we will do a re-performance of a routine. If it's on our part, if it's an issue on our side, then that routine will be available for all awards. If it is a case where the dancer ran off crying or something else like that occurred and they come to us and ask to re-perform, we don't do it all the time, but if we do choose to do it, they would only be adjudicated. They would not be allowed to be in the overall scoring. So that covers all of the rules that we wanted to make sure to go over with you. The document that you received, the judge's information packet, starts off with a copy of all of these rules. So we're going to just kind of skip over all of that portion. But I wanted to bring your attention to some other things that are here in this document. The first one is our helpful tools for judging. If this is your first time judging, or if you've judged for another company in the past and you kind of want to know what it is we expect here at Inspire, these are some good tools for you as you're preparing to come to an event. The first one is a dance terms list. On the website where you access this video, there is a link to several different documents that have helpful terms. We have ballet, modern, and tap. And then we also have an action words. Sometimes when you're in that moment and you're in that judging critique, you know you need to say something, but you can't think of what to say. These documents are helpful to have with you, and you can pull them out. And it will help you just kind of add some variety to your critiques and make sure that you're targeting the correct different terms within each of these genres, especially if it's an area that you're not as comfortable with. Please make sure, we've just gone over the rules today, but please make sure you take some time to read over them, make notes, and contact us if you have any questions or concerns at any time. Part of the email you received also has the Inspire Code of Conduct. Please make sure you sign that, scan it, and send it back to us. The email address that you should always use as a judge is inspiredancecomp@gmail.com. That is the direct contact to Teresa, who you met earlier. The Inspire Code of Conduct and the reflection document that we're going to talk about in just a minute, both of those should be submitted back to us by January 19th, 2018. That's the Friday, January 19th, 2018. The last portion of the judge information packet includes some important information. First and foremost, we talk about our dress code. We do expect our judges to arrive in business casual attire. There should not be any jeans or t-shirts. We ask that you behave in a professional manner while you're at the event and in any social media forum where you are discussing or speaking related to Inspire National Dance Competition. As a judge for Inspire NDC, you will uphold the Inspire Code of Conduct. And just be aware that if on that weekend we ask you to teach a master class, you will be given an opportunity to change into something that's appropriate for your master class. So some people will be doing that on the weekend, but you should still dress professionally when you arrive, and then you'll have a chance to change into something that's more appropriate for a class. Expenses and reimbursements. Each weekend you will be given a travel reimbursement form. Erica Bush, who I mentioned earlier, our judge's manager, is there at the judge's table with you. On the final day of the event, she will give you your travel reimbursement form. You need to submit that to Matt Jones at the merchandise table, and you need to do that on the morning of the final day of competition, before competition begins. So when you get there that morning, you'll have about 30 minutes. Make sure you're using that time to complete this form. Get it to Matt, and then he will be the person that you see at the end of the day to collect your competition reimbursement check. If you have any questions about this, check your out-of-pocket expenses on your judge's contract that you have each signed. Each weekend schedule is a little bit different. And so every time you work for us, you will be sent a weekend schedule that will have hotel and venue information. We'll have addresses for both of those locations. And we typically send this out 2 weeks in advance of the scheduled weekend. When you are planning to work for us, you need to be prepared to be there all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. When we have a sold out weekend, you may have to arrive Thursday evening for an early start time on Friday, and we may ask that you stay Sunday evening so that you can travel home on Monday. So we will communicate that with you. We currently have 3 events at this point that are sold out, so we'll be communicating with those judges on those weekends, but we do expect a few more to be at that level before the events begin. So that's the information in the judge's packet, and that's also the information about our rules. The final portion of our session today is to talk you through what to expect when you arrive at an event. So when you arrive at the event, on day 1 of the competition, we need for you to arrive 45 minutes prior to the actual competition time. Now this time that we're asking you to arrive will be in that judge information that we just talked about will be sent to you. On all other days of the event, you will be arriving at least 30 minutes prior to the event. When you get there, you need to first go to the judge's table. Erica Bush will be there at the table, and she will be able to direct you to where the judge's room is. There's always a judge's break room that we have, and in that room you can store your you can store your bags or purses or anything that you just need to put out of the way that you don't want to have at the table with you. After getting all of your stuff settled, Erica will then go over all of the expectations. She'll show you your computer system. She'll get you acquainted with that, and she will go over what we call our cheat sheet documents. The first document that is very important, it's probably the most important document that you will have at the event, is called our judge breakdown. So with this document, we are looking at the scoring and how your scores should align to ensure that the dance that you see on stage receives the adjudication level that you think that they deserve. At Inspire National Dance Competition, we always want to make sure that we are encouraging and supporting our dancers, but we also know that within a category of senior solo competition elite dancers, there are some that may be here in the gold, there's some in the high gold, there's some in the platinum, and there's some in the platinum elite. Same thing with recreational dancers. Even though they're recreational dancers, within that group of recreational dancers, there should be a variety of adjudications being given. So this document will help you make sure that your scores correctly place dancers within the adjudication that you feel they deserve. Once the dance has gotten on stage, within 30 seconds, you should know really where that dance will fall. And we need you to begin at that time keying in your scores. You cannot wait until the end of the dance to start keying in your scores, because the pace that we move between dances will not allow you to do so. You have to be ready. When that dance leaves the stage, you have about 5 seconds to hit submit scores and get ready for your next dance to come on stage. It's a very quick turnaround. So using this document, if you feel that the competition dance that has just come on stage is most likely a platinum dance, then what you want to do is as you're scoring, you want to make sure that all of your scores stay in this range. For technique and ability, or technical ability, you want to make sure your scores are between 30 and 32.9. For synchronization and execution, between 22 and 23.9. For choreography, 18 and 18.9. Presentation, 18 and 18.9. With our scoring system, it is critical that you utilize decimals. You must utilize decimals 0.1 all the way through 0.9. You cannot just do half points. You really have to have a variety there because it is such a tight scale. So make sure that when you are keying in those scores that you are utilizing your decimals, and make sure you're using a variety of numbers within your decimals. One thing that we found in the past is that our judges were watching a dance and scoring the dance here for technical ability, here for synchronization, here for choreography, and here for presentation, or some other variety of that. What that causes is that when you start to go across columns, everything becomes platinum, or everything becomes high gold, and everything starts to fall in those same categories. There's no variety. If you feel strongly that the dance that you are watching is a platinum dance, then in order to ensure that, all of your scores need to be in this area. If you feel strongly it's platinum elite, same thing. Strongly that it's a high gold, same thing. Strongly that it's a gold, same thing. That is critical to make sure that when you're giving your critiques and your adjudications, those dances are being placed appropriately. So this paper will definitely help you. If you have questions about it, please let us know. We are working with Dance Comp Genie to provide some additional information on the screen. For example, we would like for you, when you are seeing a senior tap competition soloist, while you're scoring that soloist, all of the other senior tap soloists that you have seen during that session, their scores will pop up on the bottom of your screen so that you can think about where they rank in relation to some of the other dances that you have seen. Because at the end of a competition with 560 dances, it gets a little difficult to remember what you've done. So we're working with them to provide some additional assistance for you in that. There's a couple of other documents I want to show you. The first is our critique form. Now we, as I've said before, are a paperless system. Every now and then we do have a crash on the computers and we may pull out these papers and ask that you score a few entries on a paper system. But the most important reason we allow you access to this is so that you can see the breakdown in the 4 areas, and you can see what things should be scored within technique. So these are the things that you're looking for within technical ability. Here's synchronization, here's choreography, here's presentation and performance. This also helps you in providing your critiques. If you're getting stuck on something to say, you can talk about one of these things, or you can use one of those other dance term lists that we talked about earlier. We also sometimes with Inspire have vocal entries. And so we do provide you with a vocal entry form. You score them in the same system that you score your dance entries, but instead of scoring them in the previous 4 areas, these are the 4 areas that you are scoring them in. The final form we'd like to show you is our Judges' Choice Awards. I mentioned earlier that that's one of the things that we give out each weekend. And we give you this form at the beginning of your session so that you can take notes. And we highly and strongly encourage you to take notes throughout. When you see a dancer leave the stage and you're like, wow, that was a gorgeous costume, jot down the entry number. Because after seeing 100 entries in that session, when you're sitting with your colleagues and trying to determine who should receive the costume award, it's helpful to have these notes that you can go back and have a conversation about why you felt that dance should have received the costume award. Now, these are truly Judges' Choice Awards where you are selecting them, but there are 2 awards here that we need you to be very mindful of. The first one is our Technique Award, and the other one is our Choreography Award. These are some of the most prestigious and highest kind of Judges' Awards that there are. Those dances that receive those 2 scores, or receive those 2 Judges' Awards, should be in the highest scores of the event. And Erica will be giving you the 3 top scoring routines within that session so that you can look at those while you're making your determinations here. There's several others: showmanship, captivating, precision, inspirational, entertaining, and personality. Best of Broadway. These awards are truly your choice as a panel of judges who you think is most deserving. Prop Award is something that we do that not everyone does. The Prop Award, it is really focused on the construction or the detail that was placed in the prop. It's really about the manpower and the hours that went into constructing the prop. It's not about how the dancer used the prop, and I know those are two totally different things. But when we're giving this award, that is who we expect to give it to, because we actually ask the person that constructed the prop to come up on stage with their dancers so that we can celebrate and highlight all the hard work and effort that goes in behind the scenes with those props. So just be mindful of that. Prop Award is really about the construction. With any, especially like Best of Broadway and Prop Award, there may be a session where you don't really feel like there was a judge's choice for one of those areas. That's okay. You can leave that one off that time. But for the most part, every session should have a judge's choice in all of these areas. We also ask that you be mindful of when you're selecting, is having a variety of studios represented. Not every studio needs to be represented at every Judge's Choice Award session, but we do need to have a variety throughout the weekend to make sure that we are celebrating all of our studios. So those are all of the pieces of information that are on, that what you will receive at the table at the event. Just wanted to remind you as you finish up the training today, in addition to this video, there are 3 video critiques that we are asking that you watch. These video critiques are from previous seasons. We selected 3 different personalities and 3 different styles of judges. And we want you to listen to those critiques and listen to the things that you really feel like they do well. And then think about what you would do differently if you were critiquing the same dance that you'll be watching. And that will be part of the reflections that you'll be completing and submitting back to Teresa by January 19th, Friday. If at any time you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to call us or contact us. We definitely are excited to work with you, and we are looking forward to an amazing 2018 season.
Look forward to seeing you soon.